here are the steps. Pero sa face-to-face kasi, sa written exam, for the detailed solution, to make it simpler, I only look for 4. May mga nagsama-sama lang na steps. Okay, first of which, is the statement of the hypothesis. So, magkakasama na siya dito. 1, 2, and 3. The second one, state the rejection criteria. So, when do we reject the H0 or H0? That's number 4 as well as 5. Third, mag-iisa na lang at saka yung 4. 6 and 7 respectively. Third and fourth. So, number 6, computations. And the last one, decision. Or draw conclusions, but for the decision, it's as simple as reject HO or fail to reject HO. Okay? Now, before we proceed, balikan lang natin yung mga binanggit ni Mr. Montgomery in his video. Of course, the definition of a statistical hypothesis, it's a statement about the parameters of one or more populations. For now, we're at the topic about one population pa lang. Sa dulo kasi ng solution natin, yung sa decision part, we will decide whether to reject or fail to reject HO. Kumbaga, merong mananalo between these two hypotheses. Kung sa totoong buhay, it depends on the objective of your thesis, kung ano ba talaga yung sa mas relevant sa'yo, no? Like, say, you want na manalo yung null hypothesis. So, your decision at the end must be fail to reject the HO. Or, on the other hand, if kung gusto mo naman ma-reject yung HO, gusto mong matalo yung null hypothesis, reject HO naman yung decision sa dulo. One-sided alternative hypothesis, so it's either yung sa H1, either mu is less than 50 or mu is greater than 50. Important, hypotheses are always statements about the population or distribution under study, not statements about the sample. We don't see X bar here. It's always mu. For two-sided, so there's no specific direction. That's why we use the not equal symbol for the alternative hypothesis. Para sa mga nag-senior high sa Mapua, kung pinagamit kayo ng Excel, ang H0 ng Excel is greater than or equal to or paired with less than for H1. Here, it's just the opposite direction. The H not involves less than or equal to. If you're using the Excel template for testing the hypothesis. Especially sa mga, yun kasi yung madalas na ginamit sa mga thesis nung senior high. And then yung binabanggit ko kanina, yung sa critical region, acceptance region. So critical region, as an illustration, these are the values in the interval or in figure 1. X bar is less than 48.5 or X bar is greater than 51.5. 48.5 and 51.5, these are called the critical values. Critical region or the rejection region, rejection of the H0 or the null hypothesis. Ang nangyayari kasi dyan, say you have random samples, ang na-compute mo is 47. 47 yung average ng samples mo. So, statistically speaking, we can no longer consider yung 47 to be statistically same as 50. Masyado na siyang mabagal. Same with, let's say, nag-compute ka ng sample mean, ang na-compute mo naman 52, lampas na siya ng 51.5, masyado namang mabilis. So it can no longer be accepted as statistically equal to 50. Whereas, on the acceptance region, yung nasa gitna naman, kung may na-compute tayong, say, 49 na mean nung random samples natin, so statistically, pwede na siyang tanggapin. Yung 49, pwede na natin i-consider as 50 centimeters per second yan. Pwede na. Alright? So, yun yung nangyayari sa dulo, yung decision natin, reject HO or fail to reject HO. So those steps will be used just to answer part A, yes or no. Alright? Let's now apply the 4 steps. Dito na lang. Sa face-to-face kasi, ganito talaga ang pinapagawa ko. Written exam. Mahabang kwento, no? A random sample, dito na tayo mag-start. A random sample of 50 battery packs is selected and subjected to a life test. The average life of these batteries is 4.05 hours. Assume that battery life is normally distributed with standard deviation of 0.2 and use alpha level of significance 0.05. 0.05 is the most commonly used level of significance in testing of hypotheses. One of the hypotheses is mentioned in question A, and it's actually mu is greater than 4. So our H naught will be mu is equal to 4, or if you're using the Excel template, this is more specific, mu is less than or equal to 4. Yung Excel template. available. Then step 2 for the rejection criteria. When do we reject HO? As suggested by the alternative, the critical region is on the right. So the area to the right is the level of significance for what value? Or remember, we can use the Excel for the norm that S that inverse. If area to the right is 0.05, the area to the left is 0.95. That's 1.64. Or kung sa Panopto video ko, because I have there a summary of values, commonly used values for Z, you'll notice that it's 1.645. So reject HO if the computed test statistic is greater than 1.645. Third is the computation of the test statistic. X bar, this is the Z test. X bar minus mu O all over sigma divided by square root of n. 4.05 minus 4 all over 0.2 divided by square root of 50. It's 1.77. And 1.77 is greater than 1.645, which means the decision is reject HO. Anyone can answer, no? So, is there evidence to support the claim that mean battery life exceeds 4 hours? With this decision, what's your answer? Yes or no? Anyone?
Yes po, sir.
That's right. Kasi ang sinasabi rin sa question, synonymously, tama ba si H1? Statistically, yes, because we're able to reject the H0 or H0. So if fail to reject HO is the answer, the answer here would be no. That's the explanation. Burahin ko na to. The next part is the computation of 1 minus beta. I haven't mentioned about the power of a test. The power of the test is simply the complement of beta. So this is also the probability of correctly rejecting a false null hypothesis. course, we start with beta first. So, binago na dito yung mu for part B. It is now 4.5. O, di ba yung ano dito, yung critical region nasa kanan, exceeds because of the word exceeds. So, if sa beta, ipakonsider natin yung kabaliktaran ng critical region, which is the acceptance region. So, this will be the probability of x bar is less than 4.05 yung sa mean when mu is 4.5. So this is the probability of z is less than 4.05 minus 4.5 all over sigma divided by square root of 50. Then eventually 1 minus beta for the power of the test. Oh, look. It is close to 0. So, pag kinomplement natin yan, because it's too small, 0 na yung magiging sagot natin. So, 1 minus 0 for the power of the test. Here, it's 0. Power of the test is 1. Considering the rounding of numbers. Oh, ayun na. And then, for part C, kailangan natin ng formula dyan. We have a one-sided test. Remember? Oh, let me copy the formula first. So n is approximately z alpha plus z beta quantity squared times sigma squared all over delta squared. The answer here is always to be rounded up, where delta is mu minus mu o. Yan, direct substitution na lang. Part C. Power of the test is 90, so beta is 10%. Alpha is 0.05. Or look for z sub 0.05, then z sub 10%. Kung may class quiz kayo, merong ano doon, panghanap niyang mga yan. Kaya kahit hindi na nag-excel, norm.s.inverse 0.05 is common eh. Ayun na pala yung kanina, nahanap na. Let's just proceed with 1.64 to decimal places. Then the other one, 90%, 1.28. What else? 4.3, that is mu. Mu O is 4. Given natin, mu O is 4. Yung panibagong mu for part C is now 4.3. So mu minus mu O, or for the delta, it is 0.3. And we're ready to compute for the sample size required. 1.64 plus 1.28 quantity squared times sigma squared 0.2 squared all over 0.3 squared. Always round up the result. 3.7895 becomes 4. 4 is the final answer. And correct.